People who are falling behind with their bills. Here to help with some free legal advice is solicitor Ayesha Nayyar. Lovely to see you, Ayesha. And this hopefully will help a lot of people. It's getting really scary at the moment, isn't it? And maybe people are getting a few more letters through the posts, maybe more reminders, people falling behind on payments. What can you do? What's the legal advice?
Well, from a legal perspective, the worst thing that you can do is bury your head in the sand and not open those letters. So I know it's scary when they're coming in, but what you've got to do is tackle your debt head on. So open the letters and look what's in them. Look at who's chasing you for payment. And the first thing you should do is engage with the process. So pick up the phone and tell them, look, your energy supplier isn't going to know that you've been made redundant unless you tell them. Your mortgage provider isn't going to know that you're off sick with long-term sickness unless you tell them. So work with the process. Remember, they come down hard and fast on you if you ignore them. So what you've got to do is contact them and let them know what's going on and that you're struggling. Most organisations right now know what's going on out there and they will work with you. They've got specialist departments set up, so engage with them, work with them and try and come up with a payment plan. It can only get worse, and sadly there are serious repercussions if you do nothing.
Now, if you're looking at your monthly bills and you're weighing up your priorities, which bills would you say should be paid first or put first to prioritise?
Well, the starting point is all bills need to be paid. But if your head is just above water, you've got to be realistic about what you can pay and what you can put off for a later date. So you make a list of all your debts and then make a list of what we call priority debts. Now, these are the ones that are going to have serious consequences if you don't pay them. So things like your rent arrears, your mortgage repayments, your energy bills, your council tax, because that's another that can have serious repercussions if you don't pay it. Look, all bills need to be paid, but nobody wants to be without a roof over their head this Christmas or have their heating cut off. So they're your priority debts. Look to pay them or look to enter into a payment plan to pay them. Your other debts, things like, for example, your water bill. Your water actually cannot be cut off. So although it needs to be paid, the consequences of not paying it maybe fall it down under your other priority debts. And then you've got your phone bill, your broadband, personal loans, money that you borrowed off friends and family. Of course, they all need to be paid, but the repercussions of not paying them aren't as serious as the other ones. Not paying them will probably mean a bad credit score or mounting interest. But right now, if you're watching this and you're keeping your head above water, pay your priority debts.
That's good advice. If things do get really serious and you are looking at something like court proceedings, what's your advice to those people? OK,
if you are starting to get letters from a solicitor, then things have probably moved on to the next stage and court proceedings may be imminent. The court process is a series of steps with deadlines, and what you have to do is engage in the process. If you can pay, now's the time to pay. If you can't pay, but you can pay in instalments, offer a payment plan. It's up to the organisation whether or not they accept it, but certainly knock on their door and offer them something if you can. And then there's 3 actions that you can take. Now, the first one is what I would not advocate anybody to do, and that's to do nothing. I know it's very difficult when you get court proceedings through the post.
Open the letters, yeah.
Open the letters. Please engage with the process. Because if you don't, the worst case scenario can happen, which is a judge can look at the debt, doesn't know why you can't pay, thinks you're just ignoring it, and he or she can order that you pay the full amount with legal costs and interest and pay the full amount.
Without knowing your story, which could make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely, in as little as 21 days.
Right.
And that's when you could get the bailiffs knocking. So doing nothing is not an option. Please don't do nothing.
Right.
Your second option is if you don't owe the debt, then you can defend it. You can fill out a defence and say, I don't owe it, I'm challenging it, and this is the reason why. Turn up in court and tell your story. Your third action that you can take, which is the one I think a lot of people will find themselves in this winter, is they know they owe the debt, but they just can't afford to pay it right now. The forms that you get will also have what's called an admission form with them. And in that, fill it out. You list your incomings and you list your outgoings. And then you can offer to pay in instalments. Now, judges, when they look at that, they are sympathetic, they are human, they know what's going on out there, and they will look to make or do you make a payment plan for as little as something like £10 a month? So the biggest advice I can give anybody watching today is engage with the process. It is a dark and scary winter we're about to enter, but there is help out there. There's Citizens Advice Bureau, brilliant. There's debt management agencies. These organisations will work with you, so engage in the process.
You mentioned a few there actually about support, and we will of course put that on the Morning Live website so you can have a good look after this show, because lots of people might need some help at the moment. Thank you, Ayesha.
Thank you.